Hey everybody, welcome back into the shed. It's Jonathan Maz here from Bike Portland. Hope you liked this new interview format that I'm doing. I've got some really good technological tools here that I've invested in, so I'm putting them to use to reach more people more often and do remote interviews that I can then record and share on YouTube and make clips for social media and all kinds of stuff. My goal and vision is that it will allow me to talk to more people more often. In the past, I've always thought that if I interview someone, it's got to be something that I prep a long time for and it takes many hours and they'll come over to the shed and sit down. And while that's really great and I like doing that, it also takes a lot of time and it means that I don't end up getting to talk to as many of the interesting people that are out there in our community. So enough of that. Let's get into the latest interview that I did. This one is with Ruandy Albisurez. He goes by Ru. He is the community manager for Northwest Trail Alliance, but he spends most of his time working on his own project, which is a newly formed 501c3 called Warpaint. And under Warpaint, he does all kinds of really cool stuff, bringing power and amplifying BIPOC voices. And in this interview in particular, he'll share the work he's doing to bring the film In the Dirt, which is about Indigenous people in the Navajo Nation riding bikes, and it's a documentary, and I'll let him share more about it because there's a big screening of that new documentary coming up on February 3rd at Clinton Street Theater. So I wanted to have Ru come in and chat about that, and he also told me about work he's doing with Warpaint and some other cool stuff, including a bit of news that he released that I will not spoil here. So sit back and enjoy this recent conversation I had with Ru. I shared something on the site in February last year, so it's almost been a year. What has Warpaint been up to? What have you been up to?
We've been up to a lot of things. Basically, just been kind of continuing to focus on foundational work for the organization. And since we earned our 501c3 halfway through last year, we've just been slowly working on kind of getting the foundation all set up, getting everybody, all the board members in their positions, figuring out everybody's duties and stuff, and doing some planning work. During the fall, we were the busiest out at Gateway, helping clean up, partnering with NWTA and helping keep the trails clean and free of debris. We did some tree removal and stuff there.
You mentioned nonprofit. What is like the mission of Warpaint? How do you see Warpaint evolving as a nonprofit, and what kind of work are you looking to do?
We're still going to continue doing the magazine. That's going to be one of the focuses, highlighting people of color that do outdoor action sports. We revamped our website and are in the process of figuring out how we want to present the digital magazine. But we're also working on a print issue. Our first print issue we've been raising money for that as well. It's going to be the Residuro issue. We're going to be talking about our experiences at Residuro because I feel like that's kind of indirectly molded the direction that we want to go with the organization.
Tell me about Residuro.
Everybody, oh yeah. So Residuro it's the first enduro mountain bike race organized by Indigenous people. All the organizers are Dene. They're from the Navajo Nation, and it's on the Navajo Nation down in Arizona, in Hard Rocks, Arizona. So it's the first of its kind. When I first heard about it, I wanted to immediately connect and see how I could help and make it out there. We went to the second one, and we've become pretty close friends with the organizers. And yeah, that first year, my oldest son and myself, we drove down last minute and we loved it. We put on a hut to flat contest, mostly to get the kids stoked on winning some prize money. And it was just such a great experience. We went back this last year, 2023, and I think there was 7 Warpaint board members that came down. 4 of us went down a week and a half early, helped set up. It's just an awesome event, just over the very brief from 2022 to 2023 that we went. Just the amount of growth that's been going on, the youth development. There's so many more kids out there on bikes now, which is great. It's expensive, but it's a healthy outlet. And they've been doing a lot of work building trails out there for themselves, and it's been awesome to watch. It's definitely something that influences what we want to accomplish out here as well locally.
It feels like with Residuro being a big part of it, of course, but Indigenous people, Navajo Nation, other tribal members around the country. I feel like just looking at some of the media I've seen, there's some nice growth going on with native riders and stuff, especially mountain biking. Do you think there's something specific about riding in the dirt that appeals to Indigenous people?
I think from what I've talked to with my friends that are native, they, for them, at least the ones on the Navajo Nation, their ancestors, horses were a big thing. And, while not everybody's out there running around on a horse right now, riding horses, they view the bicycle as a similar experience.
Mm,
Connecting with the land and going out and trail building helps you connect even more. Their trail building techniques aren't like the ones that we use around here. They definitely try to preserve the natural landscape as much as possible. And yeah, they definitely feel a big connection through that and with the community.
yeah. You mentioned the horse because I saw one of the partners for this big event you're involved in, this In the Dirt film, this new documentary. One of the partners on that is Silver Stallion Bicycle Coffee. So the
Hmm.
horse theme going there. So yeah, tell me about this film that's coming up on February 3rd at Clinton Street Theater.
Yeah, the film's called In the Dirt. I met the producer, TC, at the first Res Duro that we went to in 2022. He was out there filming and with, I think, a couple of his crew. And that was our first time meeting also Scott, who runs Silver Stallion. Basically, it's a coffee and or bicycle and coffee shop. He realized that there was a need for a bike shop out there, and he lives in Gallup, New Mexico, and started doing that. Started, helping the community get kids out on bikes and teach people how to work on bikes and stuff like that. And then it's just kind of blown up since. He's gotten lots of support from the local indigenous communities, the bike industry, and they're very well known, very loved out there. We're going to be premiering the film, like you said, over at the Clinton Street Theater, and two of the cast members are going to be coming out to join us for the premiere. So it'll be cool. Hopefully, we can do like a little Q&A session so people can ask some questions, and they're pretty excited about coming out.
Nice.
So.
I watched the trailer. It looks really great. I can't wait to see it. But for folks that haven't seen the trailer, can you maybe just describe what the film is a little bit more?
The film, it's a documentary on Silver Stallion, on Scott, who started Silver Stallion, and his journey with that, a little bit about the evolution of how it's grown into what it's become now. I think everybody that lives on the Navajo Nation knows of Silver Stallion and has had some interaction with them. I guess it's hard to describe without giving too many spoilers, but
Good. Yeah.
it talks about the people that have been working with him and whose lives have changed because of Silver Stallion, coming into the scene. And yeah, no, it's a really, really great movie about the development of Silver Stallion, their connection with the community, and the story of like what they've done so far. It's really great.
Yeah, it was cool to see. I think people may hear Res Duro and think of enduro race, or it's like really like all these competitive and adults. But what I loved about the trailer was it showing that a lot of young people, a lot of kids are coming out, and that's really growing a lot
Hmm.
too on the reservation. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Tons of youth are out there getting on bikes now, and it's pretty awesome to watch.
So you're bringing this film screening to Portland. That's awesome, and you're going to have some of the folks that were involved in the creation of the film there as well. Sounds like it's going to be a great party. We'll definitely be helping promote that and stuff. There's still tickets available. So Clinton Street Theater on February 3rd. Are you hoping that that the film can maybe inspire something to happen in Portland? Where does Portland fit in to this whole conversation and the stuff that you're trying to do?
Well, I mean, the reservations aren't very far from here, and we've definitely been working on trying to gain ground at establishing relationships with the local tribes. The process is a little bit slow for sure, and I feel like it's understandably so, like why it's a slow process. And yeah, I hope maybe seeing this film will kind of inspire some people to help out and help support getting programs like that going here. I know that with Warpaint, one of our goals is to do youth programming, do youth mountain bike clinics, trail building clinics, and just to build those relationships and help have a healthy outlet for, kids to get into. I mean, who doesn't like riding their bike out in the woods, going fast and, hitting jumps and stuff? We definitely would love to be able to do something like that. my kids included. My kids and I have taken countless numbers of people out to try mountain biking for the first time, and I feel like we even have our spiel down, like our safety spiel, and
Good. Yeah.
we don't want anybody to get hurt, and don't do anything you're not comfortable with yet. And yeah, just trying to get people to get outside, connect with nature, have a good time, and make some new friends. Hopefully, like I said, this film can help us do something like that. Help get that fire going.
Cool. Anything else that you wanna share with folks?
We'll probably be releasing some more details soon, but I mean, this is exciting for us. We're in the early stages of I'm assuming it would be the Northwest's first all BIPOC built mountain bike trail going. So yeah,
Okay,
keep
is
an
that
eye out for
I
information about that.
so are you're teasing that, right? You're not willing to say where or anything else at this point or what? That sounds great, by the way.
Yeah, no, not yet, but it will be in the Portland area.
Cool.
So yeah, I thought that would be cool to share. We're super excited about that. The whole board's really stoked about that. So
And that's you say board, I'm assuming are you meaning Warpaint board? I know, are you involved officially at all with Northwest Trail Alliance as well?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the trail it'll be partnered with NWTA. I'm the community director.
On that.
So yeah, no, both of us are working on that and pretty excited about it. But yeah, most of the work is myself and the Warpaint board.
Nice.
So
Thanks for sharing that. Some good stuff
yeah,
happening. Really stoked that you're pulling all this stuff in and getting it out there. So that's really fantastic. Thanks for doing that.
yeah, no problem. I love the community building side of this, and I'm really stoked to do the film premiere. Really excited about getting to build a trail and use that trail to hold some clinics, teach people how to come out and get their hands in the dirt, and yeah, hopefully make some more connections with the local Indigenous community and get more people out there on bikes. So yeah.
Maybe a Res Duro event or something like that in one of the more close by reservations in the future.
Yeah, no, that would be rad. I've had the Resduro organizers bugging me. How come we haven't done that already up here? And I'm like,
Oh wow.
well,
Yeah.
we gotta build trail first. So,
And
so
how do people follow you and Warpaint and everything that's going on?
most of our social media is on Instagram under
Okay.
Warpaint Mag. There's a sign up for our newsletter in the link that's on our profile on Instagram, and newsletter and the Instagram is the safest bet to keep up to date with what we're doing. I hope that people can make it out to the movie premiere. We're going to be raffling some stuff off. Some of the local bike shops and businesses have donated some stuff for us to give out. And like I said, Frank and Lorenzo from the Navajo Nation are coming up. They're part of Silver Stallion, and they just offered themselves to come up for the premiere and be here because they were stoked that we were doing it and want to support. And yeah, it's awesome. We're in the works of trying to plan something, some kind of ride or event with them either that morning or the day before on Friday.
Cool.
So that way people can know them, get to meet them.
All right, sounds good. We'll definitely stay in touch and make sure folks know what's happening.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.